Good morning. We have a packed day today because today is our first day where we're activating our city pass, which means we've got to pack in as much of the stuff that actually costs money into the next 3 days as we possibly can. So far, everything we've done has been like free admission, so it hasn't been something we've had to be paying for, which is a lovely perk of being in London. All the museums pretty much are free. So we stopped by, let's see if we can get the sign in there. Where's the sign? Ah, there it is. St. John's Bakery in Neal's Yard. This is a very famous bakery in London. This is a satellite location that they have, and it happens to be like 2 seconds from our Airbnb. All right, but this is our first day stopping by. They are famous for their donuts. They're supposed to be the best donuts in all of London. And you're supposed to get the vanilla custard one, but I don't really like vanilla.
That's the one I wanted.
I told you to tell me which one you wanted, and you said, no, I don't like any of them.
I wanted the vanilla.
Okay, we'll get it tomorrow. All right, so I got the raspberry jam. So you ready?
I'm not gonna try it.
You want to just try the donut part, not the jam part?
Nah.
Come on. Very jammy. It's like filled to bursting with jam. It's not super sweet, even though it is dusted in sugar. The jam is nice and tart. It would be good on toast or things. It's a very seedy jam, so it has a lot of crunch and texture to it. The donut itself is a yeast-raised donut. If it were glazed, it would be very similar to the life-changing donuts that you can get in Reidsville, North Carolina. But there's not quite enough donut around the jam to get that much of the texture of the yeast donut. So it's good. I kind of think we have better donuts in the States though. So we've made it across London, slightly behind schedule. Had to wait a little bit for a train, but we've made it. And we're at the Tower Bridge, and there's the Tower of London. So we're gonna go against conventional wisdom a little bit, and we're gonna do the bridge first, and then explore the Tower of London to try to avoid the midday crowds here at the bridge. So we'll see if that works out for us. All right, well, we're first in line for the bridge, but Evie is very convinced we have made the wrong choice.
We have, look at that.
There's a rather large, long line already over at the Tower of London. But we supposedly have some sort of skip the line access with the city pass. So we're gonna see how that works out. Regardless, it will be what will be will be. Que sera, sera, right? Evie finds it very scary to be first going up the stairs to Tower Bridge. There was a mannequin of the guy in the diving bell, and we know how Evie feels about mannequins. She's not a fan. So Tower Bridge, if you don't know, is probably what most people think of as London Bridge. Yeah, because London Bridge isn't really a thing, it's like a boring bridge. It opened in apparently 1894 is when Tower Bridge opened. And I said, oh, that's not that old.
That's old.
And Evie says, no, that's old. But not compared to other things here.
That is old.
So, we actually found a penny press machine, and it takes contactless payment. So we didn't even need change. You're not gonna walk on it? No? they have little windows for you to take an unobstructed picture out of. So the thing to do is to take your shot laying down. And then there's a mirror up here so that you can still see what you're doing. And it is actually mildly terrifying.
This is scary.
It is scary. You don't want to look in it?
No.
So we finished our Tower Bridge tour. We were first in line, which Evie did not love because that meant we were first going through, and she found that to be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's some like historical things on the way up and down. So, impressions of the Tower Bridge experience.
It was cool.
Yeah? What was your favorite part?
It was just cool.
It was cool? Was it worth doing?
Sure.
Sure? Did you like the glass floor?
Sure.
Sure? Or was it scary?
It was scary.
It was scary?
But it's cool.
It was cool. All right. That was a lady beefeater. Yeah. So we decided to get the audio tour so that we could kind of do our own thing in the tower and still learn about everything. I love an audio tour. So instead of following the Guillaume and the beefeaters around, we're doing this. Yeah, because I think that would have been really cool, but the crowd with each tour was massive, and so that didn't seem like an enjoyable experience. Yeah, so we're in the medieval rooms now that Edward built, and apparently he reclaimed the land from the Thames to build this part by by like piling trees in the river and stacking stuff on top of it.
Underneath us, there's peach trees and pine trees and stuff.
Cool. So we're gonna keep exploring the palace for a minute, and then we're gonna keep following our audio tour. Yeah. So what's down there, Evie?
The ravens.
The ravens are down there. We found their little habitats. There are 9 right now, including a baby girl raven named Bronwyn. There's the White Tower. All right, so I guess we need to loop around and figure out how to get back to our audio tour.
Yes.
We kind of veered off of it.
I think we're there.
I don't think we are. I think we have to go back the way we came.
Oh.
Yeah, but we can't because it says no entry. But there's Tower Bridge behind you. Lovely view of that. So we are in the very long line to see the crown jewels, but that's okay because we have our audio tour, which means we can listen to all the stories about all the other places that we're going to go.
I'm listening to the murders and stuff like that.
Yes, she's listening to, learning about Guy Fawkes right now. I'm learning about Lady Jane Grey right now, which I think you've already listened to. She's ahead of me. All right, but right behind us is the White Tower. So Evie's going to tell us a little bit about what she learned about the White Tower.
Okay. The White Tower was made in 1066, and it is more than 1,000 years old. And it's it was created by
the Normans.
Yeah, and to celebrate that. And a lot of the people, and this is where all the people like were imprisoned and stuff.
And tell the story. Do you remember the story of the first prisoner ever held there?
The first prisoner held there, he escaped. Those little windows in there. He stowawayed this rope, and he climbed out the building, and his friends waited down there with horses down there for him, and they went away, and they left.
Yeah. Ooh, it's windy. They smuggled in rope in a cask of wine, and then he got his guards drunk on the wine, and then he climbed out the window. He was a tax collector who was being held on extortion charges, but he was the first prisoner and he successfully escaped. Who were some of the other folks held there? Lady Jane Grey.
Guy Fawkes was interrogated.
Guy Fawkes was interrogated, tortured there. Yes. Okay. Who else? Who else was executed there?
A lot of his wives.
Henry VIII's wives. Yes. Anne Boleyn and Jane Howard.
Yes.
Yes.
And interesting fact, Jane Grey, she was executed February 12th, 15-something. My birthday.
Yes.
12th. So happy day for me, sad day for her.
Yeah, unfortunately. But look, y'all, we're almost rounding the corner into the final stretch to see the crown jewels. So we'll pick back up inside.
Yep.
So I guess we'll get to enjoy the crown jewels, but you won't get to see them. You'll just have to come yourself because there's no photography permitted. And Evie would like me to put the phone away so that we don't get in trouble. So we saw the crown jewels. I mean, they're impressive. They're really big diamonds. Evie, not really interested or impressed by the crown jewels. She wants to get on to the death and the murder and the torture. So she's been listening to all the death, murder, torture audio pieces. So I guess now we're gonna leave behind the fancy schmanciness and go learn about murder. All right. Henry VIII's armor, made to look like folds of cloth. Here he is when he's a little bit older. And then the latest suit of armor. These are the smallest and largest suits of armor on display / possibly made. So this room in the White Tower has two things that would be of particular interest to Grandma. One is this right here, a Norman fireplace. And this is one of the earliest known wall fireplaces in England. And we all know how fascinated Grandma is with fireplaces and chimneys, thanks to our Boston excursion. And the other is this right here. It's a private toilet area, which would have been a very luxurious thing to have access to way back in, 1066. So here you go, Grandma, a historic potty, because we usually take pictures of Grandma with historic potties, and a fireplace. So here we have an execution block and the torture device known as the scavenger's daughter that they would use to twist you into awful positions so that you would confess to your crimes, whether they were true or not. All right, I don't know. Pull it back as hard as you can. Is it hard to pull? Oh, bullseye, you're a great archer, it says. All right, we've got to load the cannon. All right. Clean the barrel. Load the gunpowder. Okay. Aim the cannon. Prime the cannon. And fire. Ha! Nailed it. All right. We're going to see if she's ready to join the cavalry. All right. She's got to practice first. All right. Hold the reins. Oh, you have to hold the reins. Okay. She's got to cut the cabbages. Now she's on the horse. Can she do it? Can she get any cabbages?
Oh, I hit it.
Pay attention. All right. No one we've watched yet has hit any cabbages. So I guess Evie she's hit 3. Oh, 4. Oh, missed that one. He's totally going after your snacks.
There's another one.
Yes. Much like anywhere we go, Evie is absolutely infatuated by the animal mascots of the place we are. I wonder which one you are. They all have names. There are 9 of them living here right now. Oh, you want a snack, don't you? Mm-hmm. Oh.
This is
The Queen's house?
Yes.
Where the guard is?
Yes, and it's the only surviving house,
Frame
Yeah.
house, Tudor framed house.
from, that survived the London fire. This is the Bloody Tower, and it's where Sir Walter Raleigh stayed and lived for a while because he got captured and he had to live in here 3 times, and one of those times, the longest time, over a decade.
Yeah.
And this is his study.
So, being from North Carolina, we obviously have to pay homage to Sir Walter Raleigh, right? So this was his study in the Bloody Tower. We've got a Sir Walter Raleigh impersonator describing the garden that he was allowed to keep while he was imprisoned here. Torture devices. Very exciting. So, few prisoners were actually tortured in England. Supposedly only 81, though records are incomplete. Famously, Guy Fawkes was tortured. This is the scavenger's daughter. It's the opposite of the rack. You were put into it and folded into 3 with your shins against your thighs and your thighs against the stomach. And then you were crushed and compressed, and it would make your lungs fill with blood. Right. And then this here is the more classic rack. Guy Fawkes was supposedly racked. They would put you on it, tie your hands and feet, and use those levers to crank and stretch the body. The last type of device used in the tower were the manacles, where the prisoner would be hung by his hands for sometimes 5 or 6 hours at a time. So, we left the Tower of London, we made it here to the Globe, only to find that there are no more tours until next week. So, instead, we're coming back tonight, and we've got tickets to Henry VIII. So we're going to actually see a Shakespeare play in the Globe. And Evie picked Henry VIII. We could have come back Friday for, what was it, As You Like It? Yeah, for a comedy, but we're gonna go with Henry VIII. So I'm super excited. And we got seats. They offered us cushions, but we're just gonna sit on the bench. So now, since that didn't quite work out the way we planned, we're about to walk across the Millennium Bridge. Hopefully no Death Eaters come along and tear the bridge down while we're walking on it. This bridge is also known for its resonance and how it was unstable and swayed a lot when it was first built, and they had to put all these fancy dampers and things on it. So interesting. But we're headed over to St. Paul's over there, and I guess we'll sing a little Mary Poppins when we get there. And hopefully that won't be so crowded that we can't get into tour. Any thoughts on Tower of London that you want to share? Not right now? Okay. It was very crowded, extremely crowded. You had to queue for every single place that you went into. It was very interesting. The audio tour is definitely the way to go. I think that gives you all the information and you can listen to it while you're waiting in the line, so you pass the time in a worthwhile way. But yeah, boy, it would have been more fun if it had been a little bit less crowded. So we're walking up onto the Millennium Bridge now. You want to wait for a spinner? Okay.
When we arrived at St. Paul's, we received our free audio tour and then found out that we couldn't take video inside. So we decided to take photos instead of all of our adventures. The audio tour had an option for kids that included sort of a scavenger hunt and little activities that you could do in each part of the cathedral. And it also had an adult version where you could learn a little bit more about the history and the artwork that you found inside. So we explored the nave, the dome area, the choir in the back, and then we went down into the crypt to explore the tombs that are down there, including that of Wren, the architect of St. Paul's, along with many other things in London.
Evie says she won't sing. Am I gonna have to sing? Oh no. Early each day on the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bird woman comes. Y'all, we're on Fleet Street and there's a barber shop up there.
There is?
Yeah. I don't think I would want to go to a barber on Fleet Street. Would you? No, I don't think I would. I don't know, but that guy over there is just leaning right on in. Evie's like, why are there so many barber shops on Fleet Street? I don't know, but he just went all in. He's like, I'm Sweeney Todd, come get a haircut. All right, so we finished up at St. Paul's, and then we realized we were going to a show at the Globe, which is open air at night, and we didn't bring jackets. So we're walking back to the Airbnb, which is about a mile away. So we're walking down Fleet Street, keep seeing barbershops. It's amusing to our theater nerd selves. But what did you think of St. Paul's?
It was cool.
It was cool?
It was fine.
Well, so they gave us a free audio tour with your admission, which was nice because it explained things to you. And Evie's was a kid one, and it had like a little scavenger hunt kind of element to it. Challenges, and still explain things to you. We didn't get to climb the dome. It was not open. It was not open for climbing. But we did get to go in the crypt and see the tombs of Wren, the architect, famous architect, Wellington, Horatio, some of the other folks that are down there. And Florence Nightingale has a monument down there, even though she's not technically buried there. But yeah, so I think we're gonna get back to the Airbnb, grab our jackets, get something to eat, maybe watch the beginning of the last episode of Stranger Things. I don't know. And then go back and see our show at the Globe. We're passing this incredibly cool bus, very cool statue thing. I'm gonna have to look up what that is because I don't know. Guess what? We're back in hipster heaven for dinner again. So this is Seven Dalles Market once again. Evie, yeah, we keep eating here. All right, so Evie got bubble tea again, but it's not tea, it's the brown sugar milk stuff that she likes now. Okay, and she got the curry bun because they had it tonight. So, is it good?
It is really good. It's like a sweet bun with spicy chicken inside. It's really good.
Yeah. Does it remind you of like the Chandu
yeah,
kale in Japan? Yeah. All right. I got the bao buns again. I got the pork belly one because, you know, I'm in hipster heaven, so I may as well get pork belly. And I got the same fried chicken one from the other night, but they haven't arrived yet. And then we decided to try the pandan cake for dessert because neither of us have ever had pandan before. So we'll see how that is. All right. So I got the Japanese chicken bao bun and the pork belly bao bun. The Japanese I already talked about the other night. This is the pork. It's very unctuous. It's not very fatty for a pork belly, and it's a little bit dry for a pork belly. But the bao bun is still good, and the hoisin sauce that's on it is still really good. Evie's been enjoying halves of my bao buns. I think she very much liked her curry bun.
It was so good.
Yeah. So while we're doing this, let's also go ahead and try the pandan
Can I
cake.
tell you a secret?
Yeah? You already tasted it? All right. Ooh, it's sticky. Did you see that? Like stickiness. It's got like sticky strands that pull away when you pull.
I'm gonna taste it and then I'll.
All right. So what did you think about the pandan cake? It's very moist, slightly sticky texture, very close texture, very dense texture, like almost the texture of a pound cake. We can't quite tell what the pandan tastes like by itself, other than it makes the cake green. I mean, it does.
I like the coconut.
It tastes like coconut, yeah. Because we got the end piece, and so it's got coconut on like multiple sides instead of just the top.
It kind of like whatever flavor it is tastes good with the coconut.
Yeah, it would be really good with a cup of coffee. Yeah. So we looked up what pandan is supposed to taste like. It says that it's grassy with a hint of vanilla, coconut, or almond. And it's used in Ayurvedic medicine to treat constipation. So there you go. And boils. But we don't have any boils or constipation to my knowledge. But it's good to know. It seems a miscreant may have bubbled the fountain outside of St. Paul's. So we're waiting around in Starbucks right across from the Globe Theater. It's right across the street. So we came in here. We've got about an hour until the show. So we got some free Wi-Fi, got some drinks, got a raspberry swirl bread that they don't have in the States. It tastes basically like a cinnamon bun, but instead of cinnamon, it's raspberry.
It's like raspberry, and then it tastes like a little bit of lemon.
Yeah, but it's about the texture kind of a cinnamon bun, so it's good. It's fine, you know. We walked in and Evie said, "It's just like Shakespeare in Love." Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it's like. Oh. So we're gonna see Henry VIII. This is only the second history play that I've ever seen.
I've never seen
And I'm guessing based on the gummy bear inflatable chairs out there that it may be a modernized version, but we shall see.
They just haven't bought the gummy bear chairs in.
No. All right, so we have seen Henry VIII in the Globe. We're walking back across the Millennium Bridge, which I think we both agree is a terrifying bridge. Especially when we looked down and noticed that it was one of those like grate sections and you could see straight down to the water. It was very scary. But anyway, What did you think of Henry VIII?
It's fine.
It was fun?
She has more perspective about it than I do.
Yeah, because I mean, it was Evie's first Shakespeare, so, you know, Shakespeare's not, it's not easy to understand everything that's going on.
The storyline, like I like.
Right. And it helped that we kind of knew who those people were already.
Which is why I need to rewatch it.
Yeah. Right. So we need to refresh our memory about a couple of people.
My mom has a better perspective on what she liked.
Oh, what I liked about it? What I liked about it, obviously it was a bit of a modern retelling. Not just in the sense of like the costuming and things. And
it was modern. I did.
Yeah,
like
they had thrown in a few modern touches. And they had added these little song elements. And
the songs weren't actually in
I think they're probably taken from lines in the play, but they had turned them into songs.
Oh, okay.
And what they really ended up doing was shifting the focus. Yeah, they shifted the focus from Henry VIII to all of the women in his life, right? Because his life, when you think about it, everything in his life was dictated by the feminine, the female, right? Whether it was his wives or his quest for a son, and he kept having daughters. And then the ultimate irony of the fact that his daughters ended up becoming the first female regents of England, despite all of his efforts to the contrary.
To make it not happen.
Yeah, and so, and all the harm that he did to women in his quest to have sons, and then the irony of Mary and Elizabeth. But anyway, so the way that they played with that and focused on that, I thought was actually really neat. So I quite enjoyed it. So we are now...
I get to tell my teacher.
Yeah, so I think it's cool you got to see your first Shakespeare play in the Globe. Like that, you can't really beat that. So we are now trusting ourselves to navigate back to, we could walk if we wanted to.
If we get lost.
Yeah, we could walk back if we can't figure out the bus because we know the way. And it's actually not dark yet, even though it's 10 o'clock. But we think we're gonna be able to look at the bus maps and figure out what bus to get on. If not, we'll walk. Yeah, it's about a mile. So, all right, tomorrow we're going to Greenwich. And we supposedly have sunset tickets to the top of the Shard, so we'll see if that works out or not.
Yep.
But I'm excited to go to Greenwich. Ooh, here comes a skateboarder. Look out, don't die. Okay. All right, we'll see you tomorrow on the next adventure.
I'm gonna try the spinny thing. She's gonna fall. You need a better push. All right. Okay, Mom. The other one isn't as like, technical difficulties.